Hey guys. It is a lovely day today. It's been so long since I've worked outside, and I woke up and I did some work down in the basement, which is my sacred space that I'm working on. And I'm so excited because it's almost done. I still have to clean out the garage area. I got a lot of like gardening and camping stuff there. It's adjacent to the basement area. There were walls that were up at one point separating it, but all of that had to get knocked down because I found post-closing that there was mold that wasn't, and the conditions weren't disclosed by the home inspector. So I ended up basically with a mold company having to gut the entire basement. So it's just a lot of wood framing and stuff. But I will say that after that happened, the energy that was down there cleared out. So I'm just making use of whatever space is left down there and just making it a place where I can meditate and manifest and working with it. My last physical space was the sacred space in my apartment. It was my bedroom. And I had like 5 altars in there and I loved it. And I'm gonna love this in the basement just as much. So I went and I spent a couple hours down there doing that. And now today I'm gonna use what's left of the daylight, because the days are getting longer, to build the 4th raise the bed, because I put down the hardwood cloth like months ago and the grass has actually overgrown in it, but that's okay because I'm gonna put down some cardboard to suffocate that grass. And so we're gonna get out there today, we're gonna build that and do as much as I can. And then tomorrow I'll probably work on amending the soil because I'm running out of time. It's colder up here, so I don't have to really plant. The first frost isn't really until like, the last frost isn't really until like April, early. So it's recommended to plant your seeds like in this zone where I am currently am. It's either zone 5 or zone 6. It's mid, let me move the phone this way because I keep looking to the side. It's mid April or early April. So we're in March still, so I still got time. And use whatever time that is to help amend the soil. final look. Losing sunlight, sun's going down. So this is what I got done. I amended these 2 beds, and these only have the filler in the base. No soil yet. I'm going to repurpose some soil from the tomatoes that didn't go well, but I have to sterilize the soil, so that is another process that's going to be done. Because the tomatoes, they I left them too long and they didn't do well. So these is basically, I'm using brown matter and green matter, and I added some alfalfa sprouts. So the brown matter is the leaves, and the green matter is some grass that was already turning into a mulch. And I mixed that in to the soil, and I added some alfalfa sprouts. What it does is it helps bulk up the bed and also put back in nutrients into the soil, because the vegetables that grew in here last season, they pulled a lot of the nutrients out of the soil. So you have to do what's called amending the soil to put the nutrients back in. Ideally, you want to really do it in winter to give yourself enough time for it to break down. But I'm working with the time I have, and I'm going to decide, after I did a little bit more research, if I'm just going to do another ball garden based on the time I need for the amendment, or if I'll start summer instead of spring. So they're both here. And now I have loads of pine cones to pick up. So it feels so good to be out of the garden. I'm about to leave. I promised myself I would go out to, I'm going to a place in order, a sporting goods store. And they've been holding it for me for a couple days. So I need to head over there to pick it up before it goes back. It's some pepper supplies. So we have to go get that. Cabela's sporting goods store. If you don't know, look it up. I had to put my order confirmation, and I had to get me some matcha latte for the drive. Because it's about an hour, 2 hours in total that I'm gonna be on the road. This is so pretty. The surroundings, so cute. I don't know if the pictures, but that's okay. This is too cute. The little display they have on the back of the store. This store is awesome. Just look at it. Oh, it's so cute. It's adorable. So excited, delivery just came for my seeds, which I'm gonna get into the ground tomorrow. One, I always try to buy one to keep and one to use. So storing, one to store and one to use. So I'll double down. And this one is, it just has 16,000 seeds all together of 35 garden varieties of vegetables and some fruits. About 2 fruits in there. I think it's watermelon and cantaloupe. The rest of it is vegetable and starches. Does this have? No, this doesn't. This has a parsnip. I don't know if a parsnip. I think a parsnip is a root vegetable, kind of like a carrot. But turnips have less starch in the potato, but you can use them like a potato and they're healthier than potatoes. So yeah, I'm excited for this. And trying these out. And this is I've never worked with it before, but I want to learn more about learning more about fertilizing the garden and kind of the science behind that. And so I got some blood and bone meal. This one is not organic though. I'm gonna get organic the next time around. I just needed to get what I can work with right now because I need to get the potatoes into the ground, and this one was the one I could afford. It's a natural source because it's coming probably from cows and something else. I don't know what other animals they're using, but it's like grounded up bone basically and dried blood. So it adds phosphorus, nitrogen, and calcium to the soil. And it's good for like tuber plants like the potatoes, which is why I got this. And yeah, so really excited. So last night I prepped this area. This is grow light here. So I can get some seedlings started. Enzo 6B. So stays a little colder, a little longer than when I was living in Jersey City. So I'm starting inside. And I'm not even sure what Jersey City is, but it's definitely stays colder here because I'm closer to higher elevation. I never really got that in depth with it when I was in Jersey City. But here at the end I have an avocado that I am free growing from a store-bought avocado. So I'm going to have a couple more of those as I go along, and these get moved outside. This will probably just become like my avocado station. And then eventually, like, I might just keep them under the lights, because if I move into the greenhouse and then in winter, I have to bring them back in here with a weaker light source. So it might just be better to keep them like under these lights so that they get used to this light source. But here I did some black cherry tomatoes and some cucumbers. I've done tomatoes before, obviously, but not the black cherry kind. And the cucumbers are new crop that I'm trying this year. You should try a new crop every time and just, get as much information as you can about different vegetables, because they're all unique and they all have their different needs. And here, I don't have anything in there yet. I just prepped the soil, but today I have arriving what I am going to put in there, which is going to be, let me say, cantaloupe. And the other thing is going to be, I can't even remember right now. It's cantaloupe, and I already did the cucumbers. Doing more chores in the garden today. In the past, this would have been, I'm kind of learning how to just slow down. I've taken on a fellow YouTuber saying, slow and steady builds the garden. It's Gary Pilarchik. I hope I'm saying his name right, but his videos are awesome. He's taught me so much. I even purchased his book, and but this is just, I'm learning how to just not be in the mindset of, oh, gotta get it done, you know, run out of time. And because we manifest our reality, so instead I'm saying now slow and steady builds the garden, and just enjoying my time connecting to Pachamama while I do my chores in the garden today and continue to build. I'm setting up this raised bed here for some tomatoes, and I gotta plant my tomatoes and peppers. I'll probably do the peppers in the grow bags, but yeah, because I need more raised beds. And I will have that eventually, but I started out with 2, so for this season I built these 3, and each time I'm going to try to double it. So yeah, until I have the amount that I need, because believe it or not, this is actually not a lot of growing space, because plants need adequate spacing so that they don't get sick. So yeah, anyways, on with the garden chores. Okay, so I'm here in the grow tents. I put a majority of this stuff outside yesterday. Today I'm gonna finish up the green peppers, and then I have some I'm gonna do the tomatoes. They look droopy because they need water, but I want to put them in the ground today, so I don't want to put a wet ball in the ground, so I'm gonna water them as soon as I get them in the ground. So I'm actually going to do the tomatoes first, just because they need to get the water soon. It's about 60 degrees. It was very humid, so I had the heat going, and I turned it off just so that I could get acclimated. This is the green peppers I did yesterday. They're looking good. And so is the this is the cucumber. The cucumber is looking good too. So it rained, so they're wet. I do want to do some backup cucumber though, because those already started to flower, so I had to pinch all the flowers off. But I've seen a couple videos that said, you know, you just pinch off the flowers and it's fine. So yeah, let's see, how do I take care of this? I gotta read more about this these potatoes, how to grow the red potatoes. They said if you plant them deep enough, healing is not necessary. And I'm gonna try planting some chives today, because the ones I did inside never popped up. I think it was just too cold. Even though they were in the house, it was just too cold. I'm hoping maybe they'll pop up later, but they've been dormant for so long, they could have rotted by now. So I'm gonna try to plant some in the ground today and see how that goes. Yeah, so I gotta get to it. It's best to do it before the sun is out and really hot. So I wanted to make sure I got up, fed the cats, wash my face, brush my teeth. I'll probably order me some breakfast so I could just get started in the garden. Let's get to it. So you can see what I did here. I put a stick in it to give them some room so it doesn't smother it, and I just put the clips, and it's tucked underneath there. So I have some clips over here, because I left my clips outside. Very useful to have these in the garden. Put up your shade cloth and just secure things. Allergies. So yeah. So they're warm. Gonna protect your edges. I put the top on that one and I staked it in. These are lettuce, so they don't need no protection. They're good. They're cold hardy. And this is the sheet cloth that I did for the 2 tomato plants that I purchased. The tomatoes that I grew are in that one. They're not looking too great, so I got out some protection for them. And these all in here are all cold hardy, so they're fine. And these, I put a plastic over these, so we'll see how that works. It'll at least protect it from the wind. And I've seen people use plastic to protect their tomatoes from like frost and stuff, so I think it'll be fine. So those are tomatoes over there in plastic, and this is a bed sheet. So yeah, so we'll see how it is in the morning. Good morning, garden friends. Okay, so covering the plants have helped a lot. I don't see any more frost damage on the plants. I'll show you what I mean. Here on those spots, frost damage. So since I've covered these with plastic, no frost damage. And here it looks like it was being damaged. And these are good. They were covered with a bed sheet, so sleep cloth. They're all looking good. And today I put up what you can see right there is a shade cloth for the lettuce, because temperature over 75, 80s, lettuce starts to bolt. So you won't be able to eat them once they bolted. So I'm protecting the lettuce. I'm also thinning them out. I don't want like a huge garden project. I just want to be able to do this quickly, so I've watered where I need to water. And now I put up the shade cloth there. I'm going to put some up here after I thin out the lettuce. I pulled 2 out already. I just want to make sure the romaine are 6 inches apart, because it's going to grow a full head. So I'll be having these. And I found this growing by one of the beds, so I just added it. It's dandelion leaves. And they're bitter, so I'm not sure if I'll eat them raw, but we'll see. And yeah, so I'm going to get to thinning out the lettuce, romaine lettuce I have here. And then over there, I have some parsnip that I'm going to check to see if I need to thin it out as well. Okay, so I'm going to take you around the garden real quick, because I do have to do some watering before I go. So I want to get it done quickly. So that's the black cherry tomatoes that are there now. And I'll go back and show the seeds that I planted later when they sprout. These are some of my bell pepper, green peppers. And over here under the shade cloth, I have, because they don't like searing heat, I have the beans are starting to grow here. And these are lettuce, so I'm using the shade cloth to help keep them from bolting, because 75 and above they bolt, and it's been 80 in the daytime, going down to 40s at night, which is crazy. But anyway, this is here I planted some bachelor button, which is starting to come up, and it's going to be a companion flower for the cantaloupe that I put here. This hasn't come up yet. It will be celery. We're manifesting it. Come on, celery, come on. These is more tomatoes, but this is the beefsteak tomatoes. These are the only things in the garden that I did not plant by seed. I just didn't have the seeds, and I was shopping one day at Walmart and I saw them, so I grabbed them because I wanted the beefsteak tomatoes. I want to just be able to come out here and then like make a salad. So these are carrots that I planted last year, and I left them in the bucket so that I can get this, which will basically go to seed. It takes like a year, 2 years I think, for it to get to seed. So yeah, so I want to try to at least collect a seed from every one thing of each, just to have that experience. This is more beans. So these are bush beans. The one I showed you before by the trellis are pole beans under the purple pod. These are the bush green bean. Okay, next I want to do drying beans, but anyways, this is just more on green peppers, bell peppers. more bell peppers, and then over here I have more tomatoes, which are look like they're doing good. So over here I have parsnip, so I'm excited about growing that, roasting them up. And then over here, oh, crap, don't fall in the garden. Over here I have potatoes. It's my first time growing the potatoes. Yeah, so I'm learning about that. People say to hill them up, but then people say if you glue them deep enough, you don't have to hill them up. So I don't think, I'm not gonna hill them up. Anyways, over here I just have more lettuce, and on my alarm went off, but over here I have more lettuce, and then on this side is Swiss chard. I just did one row of Swiss chard. Last time I had like half a bed of Swiss chard and half a bed of carrots, but I'm learning like just do what you're gonna actually eat. Like a lot of that Swiss chard went to waste, so I'm seeing other people's garden, they might have one row of this and one row of that. I said, you know, why not I try that? It is only just me here eating it anyway. So this time I did one row of Swiss chard, one is black seed lettuce and one is like butter lettuce. They're getting quite large, so I should start eating it. Okay, and before they bolt and stuff. So I'm gonna start making salads now. And this, finally, we have some onions popping up. So I'm gonna water this because it's dry. So I'm gonna, did I show over here? We have some peas coming up right here, and this is some more potatoes. And these are blueberry plants. I also did not plant these from seed. I bought them. They were dormant and now they have leaves on them. So yes, that's the garden. And as you know, we have cantaloupe and cucumber growing inside. So I wanted to show you guys, I think I mentioned earlier that I was feeling like a call to build a fairy garden. And my sister was the first one who was attracted to the fairies, and I remember just kind of didn't know much about them, but now understanding them on a whole nother level, and them making their presence known to me more than once. I want to do more with working with them, learning about them. I bought probably about 8, maybe 11 books on fairies that are sitting there in my, what I call my library. And what's interesting is, like, recently I found this channel, and I think I might have already mentioned this, but she awakened something in me in the way that she described, like, the fairies. Excuse my band-aid, I scratched my hand when I was sweeping outside, but the fairies' connection to the plants. And I was just like, wow, because I've always had that connection. I feel it's intertwined with my purpose. So what she did is build a fairy garden, and I love like the kind of English cottage roads look that she had. Like, I feel that in my blood when I see it. And around my home, I actually have, like, first of all, my favorite flower is the rose. If it ain't a rose, I'm just like, I like peonies too. But like, I do like vintage sunflower and whatever. Like, I have flowers. Like, certain flowers are just attract me more, but I have flowers, like, they're everywhere. I'll give you a prime example. You see that? They're everywhere. So I just thought it was interesting how she created this kind of flowery cottage garden to attract and connect to the fae. And I'm like, why don't I do more of that, but with like actual flowers? Because I believe that is what my spirit is trying to replicate in the home. It's kind of like a flowery garden, but why not do it outside? So I watched one of her videos, The Rambling Rose, on people are doing fireworks. I'll give you another example, and don't mind the couch because I have a trellis on it that I'm about to put together. See, flowers. Okay, my alarm cut this off. It's probably gonna do it again, but anyway, so I was pricing all these seeds for flowers, and I don't know much about them, but that I know about coneflower because that's echinacea, and I want to grow that, and I know it's going to take 2 years to flower, and it's is it perennial? How do you say this? Perennial. So it'll come back, and that's what I really want, perennials, because I want them to just come back. Like, I don't want to have to plant a flower every year, but I understand that with some of them you will have to do that because they're annuals. But ultimately I would like to have a garden of perennials and just do the work once and let them come back. So anyways, so I was pricing all of these expensive flower packets on my eyes sore on Amazon, and then I just felt the desire to go to the Dollar Tree. I'm not like, I used to be up in the Dollar Tree all the time. I don't do that anymore. Like, especially since I moved out here, they haven't even had a Dollar Tree. They recently got one. So anyways, I was like, I just had an urge to go to the Dollar Tree. Usually when I get an urge like that, I follow it because there's something there that's waiting for me. So I'm looking through the aisles, and I go to the seed section. You know, I wasn't expecting to find any seeds because most of like the vegetables and stuff, they were going last time I was there. So anyways, I think you got to go in like February and get them. So because it was beginning of March they were gone. But look, I found flowers for the fairy garden, and I found flowers like you would buy $16 for one bag of a mixture, and these were for $4. So this was about, overcount it. Basically like $4.50. And I'm gonna show you. They have a mix, a wildflower mix, like I was gonna buy on Amazon, but of course this is a bigger bag, but still, I mean, you could collect the seeds. But they have a wildflower mix, cottage garden. This is like perfect, and then it's the coneflower right there. So it's gonna be a mix of perennials and annuals. But this is what I was pricing, and this is why you need to follow your urges. So when I saw that, I wanted to clear the whole rack, but I got a couple of them. I got, ooh, okay. She went a little cray cray. So I got 8 of those. Basically. But that was only $2. And they're gorgeous. It comes with cottage garden mix, contains baby's breath, black-eyed Susan, blue flats, candula. You can harvest that. I'll probably harvest that. California poppy, Coripeus plains. Like, you can use candula to connect with dragons. Okay, it's also good for V-steams. Cornflower, corn poppy, cosmos, foxglove, larkspur, lupine, pheasant's eye, purple coneflower, Shasta daisy, sweet William, and wallflower. So what I want to do, it says for sale by 2023. I'll probably put these in the freezer. But their seeds always sprout, and they're always like really, really good. So excuse if you hear that noise. That's Cotton. She's been sick for a while. I think I mentioned to you guys, but she refuses to eat the new food that will help her stop vomiting. So because she doesn't eat, she's going to get a buildup of acid in her stomach and vomit. Yeah, so at this point, I can't keep syringe feeding force on her. She's going to have to learn that either I'm gonna eat this stuff or I'm just gonna not eat and get sick again. So she's very stubborn. So at this point, she just is not eating. So that's the noise basically you're hearing, is her vomiting. But I'm gonna order another brand and see if I could get her to eat that one, but I can't syringe feed her no more. She has to understand that she just has to get very, 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 very hungry, and she has to realize that this is not going to change. Like, this is the food that could help save her life. So, and for those of you who think a cat can't understand that, they can understand it. They're very intelligent and sacred animals. I had to do this with one other cat that I took in. Just whoever had him, he was on ooh, crap, squeezing my seed. He was on a dry food diet, and he refused to eat the raw. And he would try to eat all kinds of stuff, like plastic bags. I was like, not in my house. We don't eat no plastic bags in here. So his owner probably let him eat it and thought it was cute. And I was like, not in this house. But eventually he got on that raw food. He had to starve out for 3 days. Basically, starve out means the food was there, he just wasn't eating it. But eventually the hunger overcame. So I'm hoping that that works for her. We'll see. But anyway, I'm gonna have to go clean that up in a second and give her some Pedialyte. So yeah, so that's what I found. And then I just picked up some more Bachelor Button, which I already have grown out there, but isn't that beautiful, the colors? They also do have them in all blue. So out there I have this packet and I have the all blue packet already starting to grow out there. And you can actually eat Bachelor Button. Like, I've seen people put it in guacamole and stuff, so I'm gonna try that. Or you could put it in salad and stuff. Are these, let's see, are they annual? Yeah, they're annual. Okay, so I got 2 of those because I do plan on eating them. And for the fairy garden. And then they just sold this perennial mix. The fact that it's perennial, I grabbed it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I got 6 of these. So they're, I don't know what it is in here, but I mean, these not usually the kind of flowers I get, but if you play on the colors and line it up nice, you can make a beautiful fairy garden. So let's see. This one has, and these are gorgeous, awesome, because they're gonna come back. This has a combination of colors on different size plants. Plants bloom at various stages from spring until fall. And then they return to bloom year after year. So yay, less work for me. Let's see. I don't know what these flowers are. The names are like, don't even look English. Sorry, my alarm's cutting this off. But yeah, I was saying this don't look English. These are like Latin names or something. Okay, so the only one I really, okay, they have echinacea in here. So there's echinacea in here. Yay, more echinacea. I would have this whole house surrounded by echinacea, different color echinacea, and that way I could pull up the roots once the flower gets big enough and still have some pretty ones. Let's see here. So, say chrysanthemum, I recognize that name. All right, so yeah, I don't, a lot of these, I've never seen these names before, so we'll see how this comes up. I don't even want to try to pronounce it. Radabedia. Centaurea cyanus. Rudbeckia hirta. Yeah, so like I said, these are different. It looks like they're like a couple of the same, but like different types of the same, because the names kind of repeat, but with a variation on it. So we'll see. Hopefully it don't come out looking crazy. If this is the picture, then it should come out okay. I'm gonna look up, see if I can find somebody who uses this on YouTube. But yeah, that's that. So flowers are pretty regardless. Yay! So fairy garden. You can find Josie's at the Dollar Tree. So I have this. I can't wait. I want to get like a statue of like a goddess, like a big statue of a goddess, and put out there. Only thing with that is I'm gonna have to bring it in. Like I could put it out for like spring and summer, but then you gotta bring it in the colder temperatures. If you want to preserve it, and then get a. I'm gonna have to dig out. I want to dig a circle basically, and then like till it, and then plant the flowers in the circle, so it'll be a circle of flowers. The thing with this though is on the side where the garden would go, there's so many tree roots. I don't know if I can make that happen. What I might have to do is just dig out areas and put the flowers there and work around the roots. I might not just be able to take like a big circle, you know what I'm saying? We'll see. But then I don't want the grass to get really long in weird places. The only thing I think I could do perhaps is use a tarp and smother the grass, but it's gonna take longer that way. Yeah, it would be to smother the grass, but I would have to wait like a year. We'll see. I want to get this done fast in the year, obviously, and I definitely want to get a fence up. So, and just to have privacy and really just be able to like connect. Like I just learned about Naked Gardening Day. I want to do that. I need a fence. Oh, I don't know if I would do Naked Gardening Day. You might get bit by a bee. Anywho, I made a clip yesterday where I talked about something I have that's on the way. Oh, my hand is... I was touching a lot of stuff in the garden today. Something that I have is on the way, and I think I lost the footage because I was using the camera to do it. And I haven't really learned the camera yet. Just be pressing buttons. But yeah, so I'll chat about that. Ooh, what is this? This looks like a wasp. Yes, so I'll chat about that. And I just wanted to say earlier when I said I think that the lettuce wasn't doing good because I didn't amend with compost, but I did amend with other things. Like I put alfalfa pellets in there. I put a good amount of stuff in there. I put worm castings, you know, so I did amend it. But as I went to clip off the yellow bits, I saw that that problem was the aphids. So one of the ways you can tell it's aphids other than just looking at it, they'll eat like the outside leaves and then move on to like the inner part of the plant, or the leaves like closer to the ground or whatever, and then like move up the plant. So the outside leaves were the ones going yellow first, and then they move this side, and then they'll start attacking the next row of leaves, and those will go yellow, etc. So the lettuce is cut and come again plant, so you can actually just cut the outside of the lettuce off and eat them and come back. It'll grow more growth from the inside as you cut along the outside. So they should be fine with the aphid management. I'm really itching to get out there and do the other ones because I just know there's a whole farm over there, but all in due time. So I need to make me some food so that I'm not just like grabbing and eating anything, even though that I gotta say that with the ice cream was really good. The ice cream bar was really good, like amazingly good. And then, and it's, you know, it's vegan, so that's, a lot of them don't taste that great. But I'm like, okay, I need to go back and get that. And some more of those. But the saturated fat is 45% of your daily value. I'm like, how? It's coconut milk and stuff. I don't know. Maybe coconut milk has a lot of saturated fat. I have no idea. I'm just like, damn it. Otherwise, I would eat another one. They're small. But anyways, so what I am gonna make right now is the vegetables, some rice. This one doesn't look too great. And some overnight oats. I'll make the overnight oats to take with me to work, and I'll eat them like during the lunch hours. If I make a nice big jar of the overnight oats, it can last me all day at work. And I do have some lettuce here that I did. I cut one of the lettuce head off completely. Oh, look, there's an aphid in the water. Oh, there's an aphids on the bowl. Look at this. I don't have any house plants for them to get into, so the only thing I have in here that they could possibly find is the seedlings. So we want to make sure that they don't get that far. They're supposed to be really weak in sink, so I don't even know if they could make that journey from the sink to the counter over there. But anyway, I just don't want to have little aphids walking around. Whatever you get out the garden, that's why I say the most work is always like harvesting and then washing them, like getting all the dirt and stuff or bugs out. So I need to find a better way to wash though, instead of from sink water, because to me it really makes no sense to be growing organically and stuff. And I gotta assume the vegetables are like we are, they can take in a amount of the liquid because you can rehydrate them. So you're like rehydrating them with like tap water that's been like has like medicines and chemicals, fluoride and all that stuff in it. But anyway, so we're gonna get ready to roast. So I got sweet potato, and I can't wait to grow my own sweet potato bed now that I'm eating more and more of these. I don't know why I didn't just roast more vegetables before, but it's so easy. Now, when I go to the grocery store, I'll be like empty out the Brussels sprout bin, but I have Brussels sprouts, and I also want to grow Brussels sprouts in the fall, this fall. I'll watch some videos on how to do that. Growing brassicas. Okay. Pineapple over there. I need to cut up and freeze. My head is kind of cloudy because I didn't have any caffeine today. But I might make me and my spirit vessel some tea, and I'll explain what I mean by that in a minute. So that's what I was talking about yesterday, and I lost the footage. See that? Someone gave me that as a gift. Okay. So first I want to show you what else is going into the vegetables roast. It's so good. Okay, so we're gonna do the Brussels sprouts. We're gonna do one sweet potato. We are gonna do one parsnip. Now, if you notice, these are coming out of bags. I got them from the grocery store. But this, I have parsnips growing out there, so I'll be able to pull these out of the garden. I don't have sweet potatoes yet. I wanted to, but you got to start them in January for them to be ready by March. So I have a plan. I have my garden plans going forward, and I'll know it's a whole process where you have to like take this and put it in dirt or put it in water and like have it grow roots, and then it grows what's called slips, kind of like these kind of stems on this side with like little leaves on it, like a little plant. And then once it has enough of those at a certain height, you take the slips off and you plant the slips in the ground. This gets thrown away. You plant the slips in the ground, and those slips then grow sweet potatoes. So it's like a whole process. So I'm going to start that. And these parsnips, they were like, some of them were, a lot of them were soft and stuff, like they barely had any decent parsnips. I'm like, not enough people eat parsnips, and they're in the carrot family. They taste like carrot, but they say a little nuttier. To me, they're a little bit more spicier than the carrot. And they cost less. Because nobody, who eats them? I do. And the first time I ate them though, I thought I was having like a reaction to them. But I think it was just like eating something that I never ate before. You never really think about that. Like, oh, I'm eating this weird thing, maybe I'll have a reaction. You just eat it. You're like, it's a vegetable, it's good for you. Okay, and turnip. These, I wish I would have grew them. So I saw you can, like, Gary, he goes in his garden, he has like radishes in there, he has turnips in there, he, you know, the brassicas, cabbage, broccoli, those things would be bolting by now. He's probably using a shade cloth and stuff, but like, or has shadier parts of his garden. But I'm like, the fact that they're already fruit, like his turnips were this big and already in the ground. I'm like, I was like, he was showing pictures on Instagram, so I messaged him, and I love that he answers the subscribers back. And I said, what month did you plant those to have this beautiful harvest? Like in March? No, was it March? No, in May, I think it was. Whatever. Anyways, I was like, it was a time where basically people are just getting their seedlings starting. And he was like, I planted them in February. And I was like, whoa. I'm starting to plant in February because I could go out and have turnip greens. I just got turned on to turnip greens last season when I planted my own turnips. Oh my freaking God. They're so good. Like, they're so good. They taste better than kale, better than collard greens. Like, they are so good. I cannot even describe the flavor of the turnip green. Oh my God. And I cooked it down. I put some, butter. I just put a little butter, a little salt and pepper, cooked it down in a pan. Whew. And then one of my friends was here, and she's like not the healthiest, and she don't really eat like stuff she don't know. So when I made them for breakfast with like, other stuff. And she's one of those limited palate kind of people. She might eat a lot of stuff, but it's like, oh, you just grow up eating whatever Spanish food your mom makes you, so you don't really try no other stuff. So it's just like, you just like, have that limited palate. So anyways, so she was kind of just like looking at it like, what is that? And I was like, you try it, eat it. And then, of course, she ate all of it. They're so good. All right. And usually, I'm just like, well, what type of recipes, right? You spend all the time, you have all the huge harvest now. One, learn how to can it and put it away. That's the goal. I have a couple books on that I have to read. But a quick canning method is the water bathing, which is not canning, but you can do that with stuff that's more like acidic and stuff, or you have to make it acidic and do like just cutting these in half and do like the vinegar, so like pickling things basically. But you don't want everything to be pickled. But I am gonna try dilly beans. Grow Veg is another channel that I really like with Ben, and he's in the UK, and he was like taking his green beans and pickling them and making dilly beans. I think they call it dilly beans or whatever. They might have like dill and other things in them with the green beans, and I was like, that actually sounds good. Like that sounds like that would go good in a salad. So I'm gonna pickle a couple things. I already have jars and stuff. I already bought I bought it last year. I bought I got a bath to do the can bath. I'm not saying it right. A pot to do the bath and pickle, and I have a actual pressure canner pot. I'm taking a minute to relax and sit down. I need to do more of this. I'm always going because I have so many jobs and tasks to do, but it's never going to be perfect. So I need to learn how to just take a minute and take a minute and enjoy, whether it's out in the garden. If I have work to do, take a minute and connect to Pachamama. Take a minute if I'm cleaning, just stop, enjoy my home. I don't do that enough at all. And then I'll go, and then I'll have like a burnout period where I'm like, I can't do anything today. And being that I'm going through my moon time right now, I'm actually realizing I made the wrong tea because I made a black tea. Not really supposed to drink that on your moon time, but I was having a headache. So I made a black tea. Look, my little teaspoon has a little cat. It came as a free gift and something I purchased on Amazon. But I'm gonna enjoy this, and then later I'll make a period tea. Oh, was that too graphic? I mean, moon time tea, and make that. I want to do a series on that. Yes. I just picked up my cat, so there's a cat hair right there. Okay, let's taste it. It's good. It's good because with this size cup, I usually put 2 tea bags, and I put 1 tea bag, so I am like, that's so good. I'm like, I'm decreasing the amount of caffeine because, as you guys know, I quit caffeine altogether, and I was doing good for a while. I don't drink it every day or anything, but lately I've been doing like decaf, and maybe I'll put like 1/4 of regular in there. Since driving, when I first started driving, I started drinking caffeine again because I was like, I gotta be up. But just get on schedule. And you know what I tried that woke me up really well? Jalapenos. So I want to look into like making some kind of like pepper kind of drink or something like that. Like, you know, you can just take like a shot and wake up and go. Because I tried things like that before, like from holistic vendors. I'll be right back. I just want to check on the roasted vegetables. They're going to be so good and ready soon. Cotton's down here. So, they're almost done. I wanted to chat about spirit vessels, and I probably made this video about 2 times, and each time, once the camera wasn't recording, the other time I used like an actual camera, not my phone, and I'm still trying to get used to it, and for whatever reason, it got clipped. It might have happened when I was trying to save it. I don't know. But anyways, so I'm sharing this because this has kind of been on my spirit to share it. And I think perhaps maybe it needs to become more of a practice. So I was doing some research and I found this woman's page, website, blog, and she has like hundreds of articles. I never met her, never seen her, but I would assume that she's an older woman. Maybe like 50s, 60s. And I think she might have even mentioned having a like a celebrity client and doing work for them, and how a lot of celebrities actually use, you know, magic and stuff like that, which we know about secret societies and all that kind of stuff. And if you don't know, yeah, you've been living under a rock. But anyway, in the beginning of, you know, the kings and queens, while they would hang the commoner or burn them for witchcraft, they had their own spiritual advisors pulling tarot cards and looking into crystal balls for them. It was always about taking the hands out of the power out of the hands of the people. So on her page, I was reading about a specific entity. I'm not giving all the information now because I'm sharing what I feel is on my heart to share, but at the same time, I think because of the platform that I'm using, like, you have to be careful of what you share on there. A lot of people, you know, get flagged and stuff, and I don't have that many followers and stuff for it to be that noticeable, but, you know, they have, like, AI and stuff that they use to weed this stuff out, and then you hear stories about people becoming targeted and all this kind of stuff. So I always keep that in mind when I share. But one of the things that I was told was to do YouTube and just, you know, it's like the time of awakening. So this is a platform where you can share and help people. Just do it. And, you know, the more stronger you get in your spiritual practice and have your spiritual protections up, you don't really have to worry about things like that. So I admire people who do that. Like, I admire a lot Contra Queen, who's on here, and she also keeps her spiritual protections up. And I went to one of her events and like talked to her, because a lot of times things will be going on in my life and she'll post a video. Like, I don't watch all her videos, but like, I used to watch it even less frequently, but when I would watch it, she was always talking to the exact thing that was going on in my life at that time, like confirmation. So I was like, when I met her, I let her know like about, she don't know like how like she's like guided me and stuff like that at certain points in my life. And just being in her presence, it felt otherworldly. Like, I could feel that she had many spirits, entities, beings, guardians around her. I'm a sensitive, so I can feel that stuff. I can feel energy, stuff like that. And I just felt, you just felt it was like a little army around her, which I'm sure plays into how she's able to do what she does. So, you know, and stay protected. So yeah. So I was going back. So so I'm saying all this to say, if it seems like I'm being vague at certain points, that's why. But I feel like as I go along, as I get more adept in the journey and in the practice of skills at more advanced and stuff like that, that's when I'll release more and more and more information. I'm also this person, like, some people get something and they learn a little bit and then they'll try to put it out there like they know everything. I'm not one of those people. Like, I want to be like very well versed in what I understand and know before I go and make a video on it. So I'm going to tell you what I can share. So anyways, so I'm on her page and I'm reading about this entity, and I've read a book on the entity before, on these entities that exist, and you know, I've done some research myself, and I keep getting signs and pulling me back to the entity and that it is a guide to work with. A lot cultures have demonized these entities. And that's why at first I'm like, okay, but the more and more I learned about them, then I learned that, you know, they are like familiars to us. Certain people, certain bloodlines, they're familiars. Like we've worked with them from the beginning of time. So, you know, when the angels, or you want to call them angels, benevolent, extraterrestrials, whatever you want to call it, when they walked the earth, so did these other entities. So, I just want to check on the rice real quick. Sorry. Oh my God. This house just smells like roasted sweet potato and turnip and Brussels sprouts. And then I have jasmine rice. Love it. Anyway, so I love when I find the time to cook for myself, and I want to start doing that more too. Growing in the garden, I'm gonna have to cook more. I'm gonna have to experiment, you know, with food more and stuff like that. When I was not vegan, honey, I make all kinds of stuff, but you know, make cheesecakes, make, you know, different dishes. You know, I grew up in the Southern household, so you know how they get down. Make that baked macaroni and cheese. Now I got a vegan version that's really, really good. It is so rich, I can't, like, I would have to have some kind of gathering to make it. But anyways, not to get too off topic. So, learned that they were like familiars, basically. We work with them. And they're like warriors, warrior clan. And there are different types of, I guess like a hierarchy or an order. They fall into different purposes, assigned to different tasks, have different personalities, characteristics, etc. So I was reading about all the different basically categories on her website, and I could tell from her blog that she knew and understood like the true nature of these beings, the true history of these beings, the true historical connection that we've had to them, and not just kind of repeating the rhetoric of pseudo or mainstream religion. So I was like, okay, I don't know who this person is, but I'm feeling her. So I went from her website to then find that she had a Etsy. And so I started scrolling to her Etsy, and she sells haunted dolls. So which, you know, now some people might think, oh, it's a scam or it's whatever, but if you are sensitive and you work with things and you understand and you know what things are, or some people get haunted dolls and they have bad experience. So her haunted dolls, I trusted because reading her blogs and seeing that she's tuned in, that she understands the degrees and, you know, of what's like really going on, the mysteries and the secrets. So and I just get a sense that she's an older woman, and it's crazy because I kind of felt a pull to get a doll. Like I wanted like a vintage doll, Victorian doll and stuff like that. And I remember I would go out and look in the shops and just like nothing would really pull me. But then when I saw this doll, I was like, I want that doll. Never in a million years would I would have thought that I would buy a haunted doll. No, but I did. So I went, and this one particular doll, I just felt like when I saw its face, I didn't read the description yet, but I just felt a pull, and I was like, I was like, I feel a pull in this doll's eyes. And I clicked on the doll's description, and in the vessel, I'm going to start to call it vessel now, or use that word interchangeably with doll, was the entity that I had been researching and learning about. Now, how did this entity get in that doll? She puts them in there. So now you might have a question of, you know, ethics and say, well, you know, is it okay to trap something in a doll? She's not trapping them. This particular entity cannot be trapped. They just don't operate like that. It doesn't work like Goetia or anything like that. And even what they tell you to do with Goetia, it's all like BS. Meaning like they teach you the fucked up way to work with things so that you get the negative and wrong results. And also, you're tapping into like to the things in a negative way, so then you get the experience, or the way that it appears to you will be negative, versus if you were tapping into it in a respectful way, and then it's going to appear to you with a different face than what someone who might follow, you know, other methods that are fed. So yeah, but anyway, that's another topic. So these beings, like, you can't trap them, basically, like how they do like Goetia and stuff like that. They do it willingly, and I just felt like the work that she's doing is just important, so that it's someone who already has a pull towards these things and then finds her, because nothing is coincidence. Everything happens. Everything has a purpose. Everything happens for a reason. So, you know, the fact that I read about these things, so the pull towards this particular entity or spirit guide is what I'm going to call spirit guide, and then, you know, feel drawn towards the doll, and then this spirit guide is in the doll, right? So, spirit guide, spirit council, I gotta find a good term for it, but anyway, so there's different types. Like I said, they have different like clans, basically, and so the ones in the doll, like, they actually enjoy like inhabiting the doll or in the human form, and interacting with people. So, you know, they'll have different purpose. Like, some of them can help you with your magic. Some of them they have different purposes. Let's just say that for now. I'm not gonna get too much into the different things that they do. That's going to be later. But, and then she had other dolls, like what I'm talking about is inorganic, but she had other dolls that were like, it seemed to me that they were organic, because it was like, this is like a Celtic witch or something like that. So some organic, meaning having lived a human life. What I'm talking about is inorganic, never have lived a human life, never was human. Okay. And I know that I align with these things after taking ayahuasca. So we'll talk more about that later too. But my divulging that will probably be a little bit vague too, because I mean, it's just certain things you just really don't want to put out there. But hopefully we'll get to a point in this YouTube journey where I can do something like have my own separate page, platform, like outside of YouTube. Like, I know people use like Patreon and stuff like that, but hopefully I'll get to that point where I can do that. Definitely not going to do it now until I'm like posting like regularly, but from people that I've seen and watched and stuff like that, when they divulge more in the other platforms, because it's not as policed. You know, you can, let's put it like that. So kind of giving me nipples. So I purchased one, and you had an option basically of being, you can choose to be bound to the vessel or doll, and or not, but she recommend being bound to it. It makes the connection stronger, you know, you just have a better experience. So I did choose the binding, and basically, so it's like the doll can stay, the spirit can stay in the doll, or if you choose the binding, basically they share like they're connected to your vessel. I feel that both occur. Like it's kind of like a conjoined twin, but they also can take up space in the doll, because when I give offerings and stuff like that, and I'll get into that a little bit later, I definitely feel the presence of the spirit come forth from the doll. When I am not in my house, and let's say I'm at work and I'm being like attacked or something like that, and I call on the spirit to aid me in defenses, because maybe I haven't been doing all my meditation and built up my auric shield, then I can feel the spirit come forth from me. So yes. So, and she comes forth with a vengeance, let's just say that. Yeah, so I chose the binding, and when she first arrived, I could just feel the presence. Very heavy, not heavy, very like vibraty on the doll. I said, whoa, okay, this is real, this doll. And I had no doubt that it was real. But I was like, okay, this is it. We here, we out there. This her new home. I think in my home though, her energy is a bit more relaxed. I think perhaps, maybe, I don't know, clearly where she was before, she was with many other like spirits. There's probably just more like activity going on, right? Because the person who does this, she's like doing workings, and there's probably just more activity going on. Mine is more lax, so her energy is a bit more relaxed. And I did have also, I had a what's it called, a salt lamp, and in the beginning she was near the salt lamp, and I woke up one time and I saw that the salt lamp, when I woke up, it was kind of going, like the light was fading. So I think she was drawing on the light that was like in the salt lamp. And then as I was waking up, I guess she was going back into a more dormant state, and I saw like the light kind of it was like faded out. Like whatever she was doing made the salt lamp increase its output of energy, is what I'm trying to say. And then when I woke up, you saw it fade back down. So it's kind of like if you had a dimmer, right, and you turned it up and then you turned it back down. So that's what I saw. So I was like, okay, so she must enjoy the energy that's coming from the salt lamp, because I was wondering like if that affects her energy in any way, depending on like whatever, how she's vibrating, what level she's like vibrating on. So, and then the first night or whatever, after I received her and I gave her an offering of tea or whatever, when I went to pick up the teacup to get rid of the offering, there was a sigil in there. And to say that's just for me to keep and to remember. Does she do it every time? No, it only happened one time. But it was the confirmation. It was like, yes, I am here. Like it is what, and, and the sigil was actually very complex. It reminded me of basically the type of sigils that you have to create in order to open up, should I say this? I'm just going to say the portal. We'll talk more in depth of that later. To open up the portal and go into the other paradigm, basically. Lots of angles and lines. So, circles, angles, lines. Not easy to make these sigils. And she made one in the cup. That was a confirmation. She's like, yes, I'm here. And yes, I am who I am supposed to be. So, and then there was a dream that I had also after she arrived, which I think was interesting, of another entity within these clans that let's say, had pinged me years ago. And you know, had kind of communicated with them a little bit. Like, I have a couple stories with this entity where I communicated with them, and then they came in a dream, and I was like, who is this person? They kind of like look like a musician or whatever that I used to like back in the day, a rock star. And I was like, who is this person? Why is this having this dream about this person? But then I was like, wait a minute, that wasn't the rock star. Like, they look different. They were like, then I started remembering certain, that's why you should write your dreams down. I started remembering certain characteristic that they had. So I looked up the characteristics that were highlighted to me in the dream, and I saw that that particular entity had those particular characteristics. So it was like she kind of was, because she was there, she kind of was like opening the door for someone else to like come back in and say like hello too. Because what happens is when you have certain entities or guys or whatever like in your circle, and you come here to do a specific task, they're in your council, they're in your court, they're in your army, whatever you want to call it, and they're waiting for you to wake up, to remember who you are, and then to begin the work of doing that task. So they're waiting for you. And they will send you reminders to say, hello, we are here and we are waiting for you to join us. Now, in order for you to be able to get on that level where you can communicate and join with them and learn from them in the upper realms, you have to do the work. And the very beginning of the work starts with shadow work, because if you are a broken vessel, or if you're not resonating on any levels yourself, you're not going to be able to get there. So with this particular vessel, like she has different kinds. For example, I said one she had a witch, one she might have like, I'm trying to remember. Just different kinds of entities in there. Think of different type of magical entities, and ones that particularly don't mind like living inside of a doll. They're in the doll, basically. And so she also will teach you about, you know, like how to welcome them in, how to communicate with them. She says if you let them be like dormant for too long, then they will leave the vessel and kind of be around the house. Just give me 1 second. Food. And then maybe cause a ruckus or something like that. But I'm finding it can be something as simple as an acknowledgement, like, hello, how are you? You would just talk to them like you talk to a person who's in your home. Because think of it, if you know somebody's in the room and you're kind of just exiting in and out and you never acknowledge them, that's rude. So it could be as simple as that. But, you know, it's also nice to build a relationship with the doll or the vessel. And it doesn't matter which one you got, which entity's in there or whatever, inorganic, organic, it doesn't matter. You should build a relationship with them. And, you know, offerings are nice. And she recommends having basically sessions with them where you communicate. So she recommends like pendulum. I typically just like tap in, but I did go like tap in with like psychic ability basically, but an exercise and learn how to like use that tool, and everybody has it. You can try like spirit writing. And she recommends like a pendulum. I have one. I haven't really used it like that because for me, like my body is a pendulum. I know I can feel the pull of spirit, and I know what yes and I know what no is. And it's been like that for many years. But I did go and buy one just, you know, to try the different things and kind of have that experience. And I bought another pendulum, and for this particular purpose, along with a board, and a pendulum board. And they like magical items, so then you can give them, like she can hold the pendulum, or he can hold the pendulum if you got a boy doll. and you give them things like a nice little setup, basically. Give them like crystals and stuff like that. You might want to keep a glass of water because that's good for divination and communication, and then like having like little offerings and stuff like that. When she arrived, she had a little like peasant dress on, kind of like, and she was holding a broom and her hair was in a pony. I went and I bought her this beautiful doll dress, like a Victorian gown. It came with like all the frillies and ribbons, all that, and a hat. So she's wearing that now. And I bought her a beautiful vintage Victorian rocking chair. So she sits in the rocking chair. And I just happened to be online the other day, and I don't know what, but I got pulled to the shop again. And the one doll that I saw again pulled me in at the eyes. And of course, again, she was of the same entity. So was not expecting to buy another one because I'm still working with the first one. But I got pinged. I got all kinds of messages, downloads, just the force, basically felt the force coming through and telling me to get the doll. So I got it. And so she's on her way. And I asked for the binding again, and I asked if it was like, can you have more than one? Like, she's like, I only find, the person who owns the store, she's like, I only find that it becomes a problem when you have 250 bound to you. Just like, how many dolls is she bound to her? It's just hilarious. I'm not gonna have 250, but yeah. So it was interesting. And then like, I never, like, she says something like, oh, you might feel lightheaded or this or that when the binding happens. Well, I don't feel any of that. The only thing I can feel is like the doll coming. She's coming. She's closer. She's closer. She's here. She's actually here before she gets to the door, basically. Like, she's like, okay, looking around, like she's checking in. That's what I can feel. So yeah. So I'm excited and to work with these spirits and to, you know, just have them here. And yeah, and like the first couple nights, my cat was just like kind of sitting like with her and just facing her and sitting with her in the room and stuff like that. And in the description you can tell like they're like, she does really well with pets and stuff like that. So yeah. So at some point I will share her, but she don't want to be shown yet. It's not that point yet. But at some point I will, when she wants to be shown, and we'll talk more about it. We'll talk more about working with them, and I'm wondering if like divination sessions or whatever, but I don't know. I wouldn't. I see people with their $100 and they kind of do stuff on camera, and they have like spirit boxes and all this kind of stuff, but this isn't like I said, this isn't an organic entity. This is an inorganic entity, and depending on what class they in, a lot of them don't even really fuck with humans like that. Can I say fuck? I think I can. Some of them don't get annoyed by humans. Some of them can be like zombie-ish or might see humans as like a food source. These aren't in that clan or club. But like I said, there's many different. So it's kind of like dragons. Some dragons don't really fuck or like humans. Now it depends on the type of human you are, right? If I'm just basic, that's the type of human they don't like. Like, the less basic I become as a human, when I get around other humans who are basic, you know, I'm just like, I don't want to fuck with them either. So I understand. That's people who have coined the term muggle. Like I don't got time for a muggle, or I just don't connect with a muggle. And so when it happens like that in their realms, I understand. You just don't connect with the muggle, and that's okay. You just like, you worried about these stuff that is like not even like, shouldn't even be an issue. And you haven't learned how to get around the most basic problems. But everybody is on their own level, on their own journey. Like, you know, at their own levels, at their own journey. It's like today when I'm just like, this commercial keeps coming on, like about vaping, how you're introducing like metal into your lungs, and you have like people talking about vaping and how it ruined their life. And I'm just like, vaping, if that's your issue, then your level's kind of down here, because it's like at that point you just doing self-harm to yourself. And if this triggers you, then it's meant to trigger you. But at that point, it's like you're at the basic levels, right? The harm that you're doing is to yourself, and you have to deal then with issues of, why am I self-harming? Why is there a lack of self-love? So then you have to then look into those issues and what childhood traumas are causing these behaviors that of self-harm. Versus somebody who has complete, self-love and respect for their vessel, and they treat it like that. And their set of problems is gonna be different. They're probably more so gonna be at points where, how can I affect change in others, and how can I, affect change in the world? How can I take now what I have created within and vibrate it throughout? So that's what I mean, where it's just like different levels of being and understanding. So it's kind of like a butterfly talking to a caterpillar, they haven't evolved to those states yet. And it could be the same thing with a particular entity that just like, I don't want to have a conversation with this bug. So you have to show or demonstrate at least that you're ready and willing to learn, or that you can hang with them basically, or some type of ability. But anyways, so I want to share that. And this is already 40 minutes, so I'm not going to make it too much longer, but I do plan to come back with more and share more once I have had some more experiences. I'm in the very beginning stages, but with creating a relationship, and then from there go into the communication sessions and things of that nature. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this chat, and I'll talk soon.